Nowadays, automobile customers are increasingly requiring for the Cg Cgk measurement. So do you know what is that and how to calculate it? Hello, my name is Pradeep Chavan and today I will give example which will be solved manually for the Cg Cgk requirement. That will give you clear clarity for the Cg Cgk. First of all, what is a variation in the measurement system? One is a variation related to accuracy, second variation related to precision. So variation related to accuracy can be studied by bias, linearity, stability and CG/CGK. Variation related to precision, repeatability, reproducibility and CG/CGK. So in these both cases, that is accuracy and precision, it include CG/CGK. Let us see what is the CG/CGK. Cg/Cgk is a key metric that evaluate both accuracy and precision. They assess the system overall performance and capability. Cg or the gauge capability is a measure of capability of the measurement system when there is a no variability due to the part being measured. So in this part variation is not considered, only measurement system variability or the variation is considered. Whereas in CGK, both the thing that is accuracy and precision, both are considered in measurement system. It take into account any bias or shift in the measurement system. First of all, what is the procedure or the guideline for the carrying out CG/CGK study? So you have to carry out measurement for the 50 times on a master part or the reference part. So 55 to 50 reading should be taken. That is a general thumb rule. But if it is not possible, then at least 25 times reading is to be taken or 25 reading is to be taken. So what is the meaning of that? You have to check master or the reference value, reference part by that particular instrument for which you wanted to carry out CG/CGK study. Then measurement should be carried out at test point specified. So wherever you are checking, so what is the method, how you are checking, same thing is should be followed at the same point as per the control plan or the quality plan. Then from the measurement value, deviation from the reference value and X master difference, that is the systematic error or the bias error, should be calculated. So what is the meaning of this? Whatever reading you have taken, for example 50 reading, you have to take the average of that reading and you have to take the difference of this average and the master value. XM is the master value. So there will be the master value and what is your average? That difference you have to take, and that is nothing but the bias. After that, there are formula for the calculation of CG/CGK which you are going to see, that should be used and then you will get Cg/Cgk, and that we have to see whether that values or the observation or the result is in the target, is within the target. Here master or the reference part or the measurement standard is more important. So what are the requirement of master? Let us see. If possible, master or the reference value should be in the middle of the tolerance of the characteristic for which you wanted to carry out this analysis. So what is the meaning of this? For example, there is a characteristic 6 mm plus minus 0.5. So master value should be at 6 or the reference value should be at 6. Master or the reference standard should be long-term stable. It should be sturdy. It must have the same characteristic as the production part to be measured later with a measurement system. So what is the meaning of this? So same characteristic, what example we have taken, that is 6 plus minus 0.5 is a production characteristics. So which is being used as per the control plan, which is being monitored as per the control plan. So same characteristics should be taken for the study. You can have the measurement master by ground or the by tool room, or you can take from the production part, and that should be calibrated, that should be clearly labeled, and calibration value or the true value should be identified on the master. Let us take one example, practical example for study of Cg Cgk. Let us consider there is a production characteristic which is having diameter 6 plus minus 0.6. So this is a specification. So for this characteristic you wanted to study this Cg Cgk. Initially I have taken the master, rather I have prepared the master and the master value is calibrated. So what is the master value? That is a 6.002. This I have got from the calibration of the master. Now this kind of production part are being measured with a dial gauge. So dial gauge is the instrument for which I need to conduct the study. Now from that instrument I measure the master 50 times. So here you can see serial number 1 to 10, 1 to 20 up to 50 readings are noted. Number of measure value or the sample size n equal to 50. It is written over here. Now it will start the calculation part. I need to carry out the calculate mean of measured value. How I will be calculating average? I have to add all the 50 part formulas here, and whatever addition I got, that should be divided by 50. So here in this case I got 6.0009 is the mean. I have to calculate standard deviation also. What is the formula for standard deviation? This is a formula. So individual job is to be subtracted from this mean value, and that is to be carried out for the all 50 job divided by n minus 1. So that will be 49, and you have to take the square root. Of course, individual difference will be squared. After addition, you have to divide n minus 1 and you have to take the square root. This is a standard formula for the standard deviation. In this case, we have got the standard deviation 0.3 times 0, 99488. Now this is a basic thing for the calculation of Cg and Cgk. So how it is to be calculated? You have to simply put the value in this particular formula and you will get the value of Cg Cgk. Let us do the same in the next slide. Now these things are carry forwarded from the previous slide. This is a tolerance, this is a master value, number of job were 50. We have calculated this average, this value we have got standard deviation, this value. Now Cg formula is this, same thing is written over here. That is a zero point 0.2 into tolerance divided by 6 standard deviation. Here 0 0.2 into 0.6, 0.6 is the tolerance. This divided by 6 and into the standard deviation which we have got from this, you have to put here, and that is a 2.01 is a Cg. Now here try to understand only the instrument variation is considered, not a part variation is there. And the second important thing, now see complete tolerance is not utilized. So you might be knowing the formula for the CP, that total tolerance divided by 6 sigma. Now here that denominator is same, but tolerance is reduced by 20% because 10% is the thumb rule. Total tolerance is there. Out of that I will utilize for the gauge error 10%, 10% left side, 10% right side. So that's why it is a 20%. So meaning of this 20% tolerance is utilized, rather is allotted for the gauge error. Out of that how much is utilized? If we would have got one value, then gauge tolerance, allotted tolerance for the error and the gauge error will be same. Now it is more than one, that means it is a half, gauge allotted tolerance is utilized by this particular error. Next part is a Cg Cgk. Formula is zero point 0.1 into tolerance. Now why zero point 0.1 into tolerance? Earlier zero point 0.2 was there. Now it was both side. Now when we consider Cgk, it is utilized for the single side. That's why it is a zero point 0.1 or 10%. So 10% of tolerance minus this bias. Again, what is the bias? X is the average. This is the average, and xm is the master value. So what is the master value or the reference value? This is the value, reference value. If you put all these thing into the formula, this value I got 1.64. Here, important thing is that this difference, this is the average and the master value, that absolute value should be taken. If it is a negative, then it should be made positive. So that's why mod sign is there. So after calculation, we have got Cgk 1.64 and acceptance criteria for the both that should be more than 1.33. Why this study is required? Basic question. If you are saying gauge R&D is there, then again why you need to have. Remember, in the gauge R&R, accuracy is not considered. Now you can say for the accuracy bias test is there, then why Cg Cgk is required if bias is there. Now in the bias, accuracy is only considered and precision or the repeatability is not considered. Are you getting me? So in the Cg Cgk, both accuracy and precision both are considered. That's why Cg Cgk study is required.